So today is September 11th, 2023. Yeah, already deep in the autumn season, and summer is gone. And right now, probably much cooler. And I really, for one thing, I really appreciate the fall season, but as well as missing summer. Yeah, you could see this is a diffuse knapweed here. It's all seeded, and I think because of all the stems are already dead, so seed matured and go to the next year's growth here. And so this season, you could see now like a baby nicely blooming aster, light lavender color aster blooming. So aster is blooming, and the other one heather aster, which is a white flowering aster, which is very pretty, blooming. So that's the only thing that at this point you can look in nature. However, there is still like a gumweed still blooming. The gumweed is also all seeded here, and this part, come off from the stems, and when it's matured and stick to the animal's fur. I used to remember my cat. One night she came back to home with lots of this gumweed ball stuck in her body. But anyway, so this is a gumweed flower, which is very similar to the flower. It says very similar to the golden aster, but this one blooms very late in the summer, and yeah. So yesterday, me and my son's family went to air show. That means the nearby local airport has this particular free festival where you can see the lots of airplanes and music and the food and so forth. So we went there, but I realized there's so many people hustling, bustling in that airfield, waiting for the food, line up for a couple of hours or something. It's just like a Disney, you wait for the food for a long line. And there's the kids playing stuff too, but we don't want to wait for ages to get on there. And but we saw like a parachuting event, and some short landing airplanes. Oh, this is kind of difficult to walk here. It's all, you see, this is the typical plant comes up very late, and they grow like this. Yeah, it is very annoying to me that just choke up this particular trail. I cannot even walk in the trail. Yeah, but that's the probably healthy weeds growing everywhere, especially disturbed area. And so, yeah, well, anyway, so we went to the airfield, but I got a little bit thinking about, yeah, some people love to be in the crowd. Some people enjoy talking to other people, meeting with other people, nice conversations, and eating food most of the times together. And definitely that type of activity is all gone from my life. I used to go, I used to, I don't know, depend on the environment. I don't mind going to the crowded area. But suppose like in a big city, like New York City or in Tokyo, you walk there, but you don't get bothered by the people nearby you walking around, talking or whatever, because they are more or less like you are very alone in a crowd. And so I like that. I like that aspect of the big city. But even now here, if I see some friends or some acquaintance along the road, it's kind of a, it's just hello, yeah, how are you? But yeah, I don't really miss that kind of opportunities. So I rather come to the nature area like this. Yeah, even the trail disappeared here, so I should get down to the road here. Yeah, so that's my discovery that yeah, I don't enjoy as much being in the crowds, crowded area. And even now, this busy road has many cars. And most of the car occupied by just one person. What's the business they're doing? I'm just wondering, why do they have to drive? Well, sometimes people drive for fun. Sometimes people go visit other people. Sometimes they go shopping and necessary things to do every day. But yeah, car culture is, I think, more or less, maybe peaked now. I mean, car culture being here for a long time by now. 2023, yeah, but still very strong. Although I hear that gasoline car will be gone soon in several years. I would say that's a good thing. But then again, the fuel cell industries, never took off. Electrical car, I think it's gonna be the main stream of the car in the future, I would say. And I hope the fuel cell car should take off. It's so difficult when the technology got kind of stymied because of the technology itself is very difficult. And yeah, but it's true that me as an old timer, I don't need technology. When I get older and older, I start to feel more and more I don't need technology. I don't need a smartphone, for example. Probably I don't need a TV. I don't watch TV today at all. Although I am deep into the YouTube culture where I can enjoy the common people's video rather than established video. Yeah, time changes. Yeah, common people video. Of course, the quality is not as good as the some good, productions by TV stations or whatever. But you could get that kind of a feeling that you are also part of this circle of social network or whatever, and you feel like you have friends there. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I really don't like the cars coming and going with big noise, especially when they have like a motorbike, which gets a tremendous noise when they're running. And I try to avoid those road area, but there's no way I can avoid some of the places that, yeah, that's the only road I had to take. Yeah, so if I have a freedom, for example, if I have like a, guaranteed life in the solitude, for example, guaranteed means I need help or I need food, somehow those come from the heaven, right? Okay, and when you get sick, somebody come to help you very quickly, and then I prefer, living in the remote area alone. But then again, when you're alone, what do? Luckily I have this hobby of painting and the reading books. I think that's one of the reasons that I like to be alone, probably. Meditating. But then again, those life doesn't exist. If you are very, very away from the culture, off-grid, for example, you already have a tremendous problem of supporting yourself. Even though you are healthy, you have to get the water, you get some kind of a heating system, you need a light in the darkness. So those things, still counting on the civilization. So that's like a dilemma of a person like me. I hear once in a while those people who kind of live alone in the mountain, for example, but they don't, well, of course they are happy doing that, but I think the life is tough there, especially when you don't see anyone for a period of time. I think you miss the human contact and conversations or talking to somebody, even though the somebody is more or less like a, artificial friend, like a cloud in the sun. I appreciate those things. Yeah, social media has that particular capability of being friends for lonely people. for long times, I really felt that, the social media is very addictive. When I first, about the 1985, 86, somewhere around that time, 87, when just about the internet started, I was an avid internet user, especially this, I think, what do you call that? It's like the people post your ideas and so forth in one topics, and you kind of communicate with other people by that. I tremendously enjoyed that because, for one thing, I never experienced that type of socializing. So without showing you your face or whatever, ethnicity, whatever, you can post your opinions on something, and then several people respond to the type of opinions, and that was tremendously pleasurable. And mostly they are very I thought about their early time on the internet history. Only people who had a computer access and who are probably college educated or something, that more intelligent people got into the internet. So that was very enjoyable. But the time changes, continuously changes. Yeah, so I don't know how it's gonna go from now on. But one thing for sure, me as a person, at the time of this twilight time of your life, I prefer more quiet, like a solitude, or some type of getting away from the opportunity of getting away from the clouds. So I was wondering why I get this habit of being alone over the years. I think when I was a kid, for example, like 7 years old, 8 years old, I have like a couple of neighboring kids around my age. They come to my place, to my house, all the time to play with me. But other than that, thought those friendship with other people. That's not true partly, but I think probably psychologically I don't mind being alone, because I felt around that early age already feeling very free without friends. I like that particular freedom. If you have friends, for example, somehow you get very tired. Like I remember, even like college. During college, I go mountain climbing, mountain hiking with my friends, of course, and then after coming home from that, I got so tired. Not because of I got tired with physical activity, but I think the mental stress with other people, I get so tired. So those cars I see, why they have to drive when I'm walking very quietly here? Why do they have to drive the car nearby me and making noise? so annoying to me. So all along my boyhood, what I remember fondly is not the time I spent with my friends. I remember fondly when I went out alone by myself in a nature, probably like by the river or the mountains. In my hometown, there's a pretty good sized river. In Japan, they have a lot of river. They are big river, and because of that, they have a lot of rain, and pretty much like the mountains get rid of the water so quickly to the ocean, and by the route of the numerous rivers system. So my like a oh, I wanted to go somewhere, and then I go to the riverbank, and I used to take my sketchbook to draw things or paint things of the scenery along the river. That's probably my fondest memory there. So yeah, even as a kid, what I really enjoyed is like a solitude moment with nature, away from the people. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. That particular trend, I think even now it's very, very true. Yeah, so when I look back, one of the memories, that strong memory I had when I was just before coming to the US, and I was very mentally depressed, probably being in that kind of a society where you don't have much freedom to be alone, I would say. And if you behave alone, you are treated like you are a very strange type or something in the field. And in Japan, the field is pretty much taken by this rice paddy or some kind of a farming. But there's a small trail in there, and so in the early spring I used to go out to see what type of flowers are blooming, what kind of plants are coming up or something like that. And I remember one particular event that took place, that I was walking. I was walking probably, crying or, over this particular society of Japan, and I found this beautiful small, like a small forget-me-not type of blue flowers. Very tiny, big, resembling forget-me-not, but it's not. And that particular flowers, I took pictures, and I remember even now, very, very vividly. Yeah, there's something else in the world. Something very, very comforting, very strongly life affirming, I would say, things there. And probably that's one of the reasons that I became very much interested in wildflowers. Sunflower is toward the end of their life, but still. These plants, I wonder what they are for very, very early on in the spring. And it starts to come out like leaves like a triangular shaped or something. And I looked and looked and looked into the wildflower book or whatever. I could never find it, what it is. Yeah. The leaves is like this. It's kind of a tall, It's like my probably 4 feet. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, talking about being alone all my life. That doesn't mean that I detested or hated being with other people. I socialized with them, and while enjoyed the particular warm feeling, and also uh, conversations, all these things, I enjoyed it, and that's no doubt. But when conversation goes deep, probably you are different from the other people. Other people have tremendous strong opinions on something, and I don't, or vice versa. And so that type of thing is, yeah, it's like you're safer, you're happier in this particular environment where you don't have to deal with those things anymore. Okay, you can see the Gerardia here blooming here. Gerardia, very pretty. And so that's probably, you don't feel like you are, unique, or you are a stranger with other people or anything like that. You feel you are one of them, and you still, kind of a struggle to mingle with other people. But definitely, if there's no such a restriction, social restriction, I think you're a happier person. I think about all the animals, cats and dogs and so forth. Cats, for example, I think they're much, much happier if they're alone, even though they appreciate their human warmth and the other cats' warmth, but mostly they're alone.
But I'd stop and I'd get a thing of Bailey's Irish cream. I think probably something of red wine and something of white wine. What do you call it?
Wow, there's two joggers socializing when they are running, which is great. right? Yeah. Yeah. The coreopsis type of flowers here blooming. Very nice.